Hey folks, good morning. This is Lawrence with Fellowship of the Father, and I got a video for you. And the name of this video will be A Few Good Men. A Few Good Men. So, if you hadn't noticed already, I'm switching formats because I did everything that I thought humanly possible to control my sound, my audio coming in, and I had a lot of challenges with that. So, we aren't going to do that anymore. We're going to work out a studio at least for a little while until I come up with a better plan here. So anyway, hopefully you like the new format and it works out for you. It's going to be a little bit more boring for me because I'm just staring at walls, but we'll see how it goes. Got a question for you. Can you handle the truth? So you got A Few Good Men, movie back from the 90s, as I recall. And the catchphrase that I guess every good movie has a great catchphrase or a meaningful moment. And in this movie, it was, "You can't handle the truth," says Jack Nicholson, right? So I personally believe that you can handle the truth, and I believe that you've been seeking the truth, and I think that's how you found my content. And that's why you're willing to look at a video of mine where I'm not really your average guy that has been stacking up the views or whatever, but it's important to look for the truth everywhere you can find the truth. So glad you're here. So that's a great question to ask yourself. Can you handle the truth? Are you really in it to win it? Or are you kind of, oh, that's interesting? Or is it more like, look, I've done everything I can do. I got to figure this out. Is that where you're at? Can you handle the truth? There's a movie. We're talking about movies. This is a summer series, a movie series, blockbuster series, and this is episode 26 according to my shooting schedule. So there's another movie that I want to refer to. It's The Goonies, and it kind of occurred to me that there's a specific theme in that movie where these kids are looking for the treasure, and the treasure is found in a bit of a scary place. And especially for these kids, because they're kids, right? Grown males, they can go ahead and handle a lot more than, say, kids, but it's crazy for a kid to walk up to a corpse or to a skeleton and deal with that situation. But that's where the treasure is. That's where there's a scary place. So that one-eyed Willie character is this passed on individual, and they go to the hull of the ship. The ship, right? Like the Fellowship of the Father. So they go to the hull of the ship, and they see the skeleton, and within the hull of the ship is all the gold, all the treasure, all the good stuff. It's in the scary place. It's not in the safe place. So I think we've had it up to our eyeballs in safe spaces and where it all leads to be ultra safe about things. So hopefully that's where you're at. So I got another question for you. I'm learning how to work on a teleprompter since I'm stuck in the studio, and maybe it'll help me get more focused on my videos because I have a tendency to float. So here's another question for you. Does God want you to be a nice guy? Does God want you to be nice? Think about that. Say you're in church currently, or you came from a church and it didn't work out for you. Ask yourself this question. Were you a nice guy? Were you the guy that did everything that was asked of you every single time? Johnny on the spot, right? Johnny on the spot. There's a problem. I'll stop what I'm doing. I get paid at my work. I'll clock out early and I'll go serve for free over here, not thinking, how am I going to make rent? How am I going to save up for that vacation? How am I going to save up for that purchase that I'm looking for? If I'm sliding down the fire pole to rescue everyone and their brother every 5 minutes. That's the cost of being nice. And if you look up the word nice, look it up. I challenge you to look it up. You look at the origin of the word, you will find out that it's basically another way of saying naive or to not know. To not know. Are you a nice guy? I'm a not know kind of person, right? So the Bible will talk about different concepts. One of the concepts they talk about is this person got married and he knew his wife. He put it in his mind to know his wife. What does that mean? I don't know exactly what it means, but I can speculate a bit, and here's what I would say. He knew female nature, and he knew whether or not the wife that he had who he had intended to be his wife was or wasn't the right person for marriage. And they pointed it out in a very big way. He knew his wife. He knew the battlefield. He knew the weapons. He knew that he could depend on his weapons. He knew his career. He knew his, and fill in the blank, right? In order to know, you need to get oriented. In order to get oriented in the world and the realities of the world, you got to be able to go to that scary place. You got to be able to go to the hull of the ship where all the scary stuff is, but it's also where the treasure is. It's the bad news and the good news all in one, to know. So the word know is a tricky word. So let me ask you this. If you know your rights and you know what you need to do, are you able to use the word know in your daily activities, right? If the boss said, I need you to work Sunday, and you really want to go to church, or you really need downtime, or you really need this, or you really need that, are you able to say no to your boss? And I'm not saying say no to your boss. I'm saying, have you thought this stuff out ahead of time? Have you decided what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do and suffer the ramifications of those decisions? Are you able to do those things? That's what we're supposed to be doing as men, right? So one time, Jesus is approached and they say, good teacher. And he stops them in their tracks and he says, why do you call me good? There is only one that is good, and that is God. So that's a really odd phrase for Jesus to be saying, because according to the Bible, he is God in the flesh. So why would he say that I'm not good, but only God is? And so one of the ways I would process that would be, he's trying to point to the concept of a good person, or the quality of, what does the word good entail exactly? Does it mean to be nice guy? Or does it mean to be a wise guy? Does it mean to move forward in knowledge, or to move forward solely in heart? So we're a spirit trapped in these bodies, and whether or not we like it, we suffer the ramifications of our actions in our bodies. If we decide to sell our time out for free to someone else, we can't gain that time back in monetary or even in energy. We can't get it back. It's gone. It's gone forever. And we got to muster up more for ourselves later. So that's something to consider. There's one thing I do want to mention. There's a fellow, his name's Corey Wayne. He's the author of a book called 3% Man. So he's saying that basically 3% of the entire population of men take the time to understand the way women function and the way relationships work between men and women. That's something to consider. Do you consider yourself someone that seeks out knowledge? Do you consider yourself to be someone that seeks out validation from others, or understanding of the way the world works and how to win at the game of life? So which one of those two are you, do you suppose? That's what I'd consider this week. So what I would like to do is develop a community where we are talking together as men and figuring this stuff out together as men, and that at the end of it all, it's going to be all right for us. And at the end of it all, at the end of it all, we're not creating systems where we are hyper dependent on each other for the entirety of our lives. What I would like to see is this particular system that I'm trying to set up becomes what I call it the fellowship, is that we get together to empower each other to grow and grow out of the system itself. Maybe you could revisit the system from time to time to buff things up. But right now, what happens is people go to church, they get filled up with something, they leave, and 10 minutes out the door, they're already messing up, and they're not feeling empowered. They're not doing the things that they ought to do. I would like to see this community grow in a way that we're empowering each other and doing great things. And we're going from being nice men to being good men. And it starts with a few of us and expands into something much greater. So that's my little vision for this particular session. And this has been Fellowship of the Father. I will do everything I can to keep leaving scriptures that would confirm what I'm saying. And, if you're really geared towards just collecting those scriptures and understanding and getting that reinforcement, I'll do everything I can to reinforce that. But at the end of the day, it's about logic. It's common sense. Your heart should follow your brain, not your brain following your heart. But it does take heart to stay in the game and do amazing things. So anyway, this is Lawrence, and this has been Fellowship of the Father. If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Ask any questions. Let's work with each other to get to a higher place. So until next time, this is Lawrence. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.